Hi girls, so this is a quick introduction to section 8.1, which covers conic sections. There are 4 different conic sections that we're going to learn about in this chapter. The reason they're called conic sections, it says here, is that because they're formed when a plane intersects a double right circular cone. Okay, so what all of that means is if you see these little blue pictures down here, those are double right circular cones. And if you take those green planes and you slash through that cone, then it's going to create different pictures. Just think about it like as Play-Doh, and you completely chop part of it off, and then what's left creates these conic sections. Okay, so this might be something that you want to refer back to later once you get more comfortable with this chapter and understand what each picture really looks like as we start to graph. What's really important in this chapter is before you start a problem to understand what conic section you're even going to be graphing or talking about or answering a question about, whatever. It's really easy to decide which conic section each equation is by a few simple rules. So the first one says that parabolas have only one squared term. They're the easiest ones to pick out because if you just see one squared term, you automatically know it's a parabola. So it doesn't matter what the coefficients are, if it's positive or negative, just notice that there's only one squared term, okay? This middle one here, even though it has the x in parentheses, if you were to expand it, you could see that there was only one squared term in that. All right, the next one is circles, which you should be pretty comfortable with because of geometry and algebra 2 that we've already worked with these equations. But anyways, you know it's going to be a circle if it has both an x squared and a y squared. And at the same time, the coefficients on those x squareds and y squareds are the same. So this and this that I just highlighted, it's a 3x squared and a 3y squared, 2 squared terms with the same coefficient. Okay, the next one you can see, same idea, x squared, y squared, same coefficient. It doesn't matter if those coefficients are negative or positive, but they both have to be negative and both have to be positive. They have to be the exact same coefficient. And then the last equation looks a little funny, but it's going to become comfortable to you as we work through this chapter. If you were to expand this, both the x squared and the y squared would have a coefficient of 1/4. If you completely expanded the top and divided all the coefficients by 4, they'd be the same. All right, the next one are called ellipses. Ellipses are sort of like ovals. You know that it's going to be an ellipse. There's 2 squared terms, it says, but if they have different coefficients, but they're either both positive or both negative. So 2 squared terms, different coefficients, one's a 2, one's a 4, but of course they're both positive. Same idea here, 2 squareds, coefficients are different if you were to expand it, both positive. This guy's got 2, one's a -5 and one's a -4. So that means it's an ellipse. And then hyperbolas, one more. 2 squared terms, one has 1/9 and one has 1/7 as its coefficients. And then finally, hyperbolas, they have both x squared and y squared terms. It says here, but one is positive and one is negative. So you don't really need to worry about what the coefficients are, like what the numbers are. As long as one is positive and one is negative, it's going to be a hyperbola. So hyperbolas are kind of also easy to pick out. So you can see here that this y squared is a negative, but the x squared is positive. Same here, -3, +4. X squared is positive, y squared is negative if you were to expand it. And same here, y squared is positive, x squared is negative if you were to expand it. Okay, now I know I went through that really quick, but if you have any questions, you can always rewind it, go back, and check out exactly what I said for each of these. The best way to figure all this out is to just start looking at problems and trying to pick out which conic section it is. So I have a quiz posted. We do these all the time. It's a little bit different because you're at home, but it says that I'd like you to try and do it and aim for a 10 out of 13. So if you totally screw it up the first time through and you're like, well, what am I even doing? I need to look at the notes again. Who cares? No big deal. Just go back and do it again and try and get at least 10 out of 13 so you really get things figured out. All right. See ya.